Welcome along to 101 Part-Time Jobs. Every single one of our episodes is available ad-free at our Patreon, patreon.com/101 Part-Time Jobs. I know that there are all these messages trying to sell you things that you may or may not want. So for £4 a month, that's around $5.50 US, you can get over 450 of our episodes and every single one in the future, featuring all the brilliant guests that we have week in, week out, completely ad-free. You can head to patreon.com/101 Part-Time Jobs, get all your episodes bother free, and you support us directly. Cheers. Jobs! 101.
It's a mad job, man. It used to be 80% admin. So I was deep in saying, yeah, I'm basically an administrator. But at the moment, I can't lie. This has been one of the best years of my career, just because I've had time to sit around in the studio. And then between that, I'm traveling, and I made no money for 4 months. But it's actually like time is the best thing you can have. So I've been super grateful recently, man. Best job in the world. Yeah, you underestimate how intense it can get, and then it hits you, and you look back on the year, and like, I've been so stressed. I haven't slept. Like, what have I been doing? And especially with touring, it's like we were doing it all ourselves for a while, and realized it was kind of, yeah, this is killing us slowly. We're not going to be doing this in 2 years if we keep doing all of this. So divvying up and finding a team around us has kind of saved our careers, in so to speak. But saved my mental state.
So that's what changed. You started working, you started building a team around you.
Yeah, I think finding a manager. We already had a great agent. It's probably too good. That's why we were so stressed. So many shows to do admin for. But, yeah, much love to Clem. But yeah, having a good TM. We have an amazing TM now who carries a lot of load for us. Great manager. The label's done really good by us. So just good people, man. People you want to be around as well.
That's Giles Peterson's Brownswood, and everyone loves Giles.
Yeah. Giles, good. I don't even need to say anything about Giles. He's a great guy, man. Been so supportive.
So tell us how you started playing. You met in London. You know, you're sort of coming through a London lens, Kokoroko. Yeah. African music through a London lens. Tell me a bit about that and like how it started off, but how it's kind of metamorphosized, you know, in recent years and how it's developed.
Yeah, I think the lens of London is everything, right? I think I love London because the whole world is here. It's just like the most international, like crazy city. You go and do interviews in other countries and I'll be like, it's funny you're playing this music because I thought London was all rock and roll. And it's like, wow, I never even considered London rock and roll because I didn't grow up necessarily in that scene, but there's so much happening here. So when you play any music, I think whether it's African music or whatever, all the other influences like pour in. Like we record in the Kinks old studio. There's not many places with that richness, and it's the best place for me to write music. You know, I love it here.
I used to work at a radio station at Soho Radio, and when you would put the genre tags onto shows, you know, at some point, like music's just music, isn't it? And it's melody and it sounds, and I started to really dislike putting a genre tag on things because I was like, it boxes it in immediately. I don't think anyone needs that.
No, definitely not when you're creating, man. You have to we've had to fight ourselves really, because you put pressure on yourself, especially because I think we grew up with a jazz tag, and it's like a heavy load to bear. But especially like for me as well, African music, the music I grew up with, they were really masters. And I don't think any of us would claim to be masters of our instrument in the same way. So it's like we could never play that music like those guys. So it's better we just let go of the genres and create freely.
Who were those musicians? Who were those African musicians that you grew up with? And were you getting that from your parents?
Yeah, I was. I got in my house was a lot of fella, and then just. I grew up, I was like a festival kid as well, in the summers at least. So I used to go to WOMAD and see all these amazing, like Yusendor and Baba Mal and all this so-called world music. And then when we started playing, we were playing a lot of Ebba Taylor, Pat Thomas, Fella again. Just classics, really. The most obvious classics we could find from the region, just as by means of study.
I wonder if when you start making music of yourself, like the big question is like, who am I? You know, what am I trying to do here? You know, what am I trying to channel here?
Yeah, I think we thought about it loads at first, And then now you kind of, we're in a good space where we're kind of just like, oh, I want music to be fun today. Let's write some fun music. Or, yeah, I'm feeling like this. Let's write this. And then you listen back. Like when we got the album back from mixing, we listened to it and we're like, oh yeah, we were examining this. This is, we were really trying to find ourselves in this record. Like we can hear it now. I think when you kind of let go of maybe being so intentional about like that self exploration or whatever, that's when it really happens. And that's when you hear your music and you kind of be like, oh, cool. I didn't even realize these influences or this hit me so hard or whatever. That's in this song.
Yeah.
It's the beauty of music, really. I think it tells you more about yourself than you can even try to put into the songs.
And the record Tough Times Never Last, I mean, that you can hear that title is kind of in that way of thinking, right? I imagine it could be a tough time trying to put your head down and write something and bang your head against the wall maybe in the studio.
Yeah, getting 7 people to write together. that's a tough time. I think that the title is definitely like it's true to our lives, but and then it's definitely true to the process of every song we've written. A lot of the songs that we were getting to mixing, we're like, I still hate this song. It's still not there. Like there's something there, but we still can't get it. And like kind of attacking it at the end, like those last couple of weeks, a lot of the songs for us kind of landed. And it was tough. It was tough as hell. In some ways, it was like a really fun process. And then when you realize we've got a deadline and a label waiting, and we've got an album show that we've got that's meant to come with the record, the pressure comes. So yeah, it's the story of every song, but also it's just, I think, a beautiful thing to walk with in life. Like tough times don't last, and there's generally something kind of fun around the corner.
101. How do you think you've got up until this moment? Because it's like your second album in like what 3 years, and you must have played a bit, you know, before. You're probably playing, you know, for a few years before that first album. So I mean, that's a short amount of time, but long in terms of being a young person and, you know, surviving, paying rent, whilst also giving yourself a bit of time aside from the music, which is such a full-time thing. So how do you think, you know, you've done it up until this point?
No, I think like it's happened accidentally, and that's the kind of best way for things to happen. I like, for me myself, not everyone in the band, but I was like a bedroom producer. I made beats, and it wasn't this. I kind of gave up on anything happening in that way. It was just something I'd done for fun. And I met the right people. I met Sheila. We were working on another project. Sorry, my phone was. We were working on another project together, and we were away traveling. And by the time I came back, we had a show booked. Like Sheila booked in a show, and all of a sudden I was playing music and kind of got thrown into it. I think like being focused on it. I don't know how people do it, honestly. Just like having that determination from 18 and being like, I'm just gonna go and work through this and get to where I want to get. We had the pleasure of just like, oh, we'll do this for fun and we'll play some shows on the side. We had other jobs, and it kind of slowly grew to the point where we were like, oh wait, this is kind of a job. This is like, yeah, I'm gonna have to leave my job because I don't have time to do my job anymore. It's maybe the best way for things to happen, I think.
And that crossover time, did you get too busy for you to work any other bits, you know, whether it was doing like a regular quote unquote job or like other music work that you're getting paid for? Because I imagine, I mean, it's not going to be like a direct 1-for-1 change, is it? Right? There's going to be an overlap period where it's like, okay, well, I'm getting too busy, even though it's not making me loads, I'm just going to do it anyway. Did that happen for you?
Yeah, 100%. I think all of us, we're in different ways. Some of the guys played with a lot more bands than me. I had another job and had to quit that job, but then realized like, this isn't really paying. Like, I'm not really earning from music. We started touring before we released music. We had like a video that went viral and got booked abroad. And then the next year it was like 90 shows for no money. But it's the best thing in the world. We're going all around Europe, but not getting paid well. I took up gardening because I thought it would be flexible, and it was great. Like it was super fun. But I was like
Yeah.
hiding in the corner of gardens, like on my phone, trying to get emails off, like trying to do admin, like driving Sheila, who I was working with at the time on the band, driving her. Or I'm still working with her now, but driving her crazy because I wasn't responding to everything. And that period of trying to juggle is just it's impossible, man. Because you need to earn to live. And
Yeah.
music is definitely your main thing. You can't pretend to anyone that yeah, my music's more exciting than the job you're giving me. I'm not fully committed. I can't lie. But I need you as well.
I feel like once you get paid, 50 quid or anything more, once you get paid for playing music, how could you go back?
Yeah, it's the sweetest thing, right? That's our question now. Like, how do you keep getting paid for this? Because this is it's pretty cool, man. But how do I then extend this to the rest of my life? It's like, there's no
Yeah.
promotion here. I'm trying to find a way to promote myself.
How's getting into gardening?
You know, I loved it. I think it's one of my favorite jobs I've ever done. It was humbling because I kind of worked my way up in my other career, and then I was doing a
Mm,
job that in some ways is a service job. So you're going into people's houses. Well, it is a service job into people's houses who have
mhm.
made it are very comfortable. Some of them are great, love you, lovely, super interested, and then some of them complete different attitude, and you just gotta
Okay.
hold it together. And you get this weird
You're being very
duality.
polite there.
Yeah, yeah, I'm being very polite. But my boss was like a musician as well. He was an American musician, a trombonist. And so he was like super excited by like I think we done Glasgow one year, and then I got back from Glasgow and was gardening literally. You know what Glasgow feels like when you go home if you feel ruined for weeks. And I was gardening the next
Mm.
day. It was like super hot. And he was telling everyone, like all the clients, he was like, "Guess what? He's just done. He's just done Glasgow." And I could see them all looking at me. Then, like, "No, you haven't. Like, why the hell are you here? Like, cleaning up the dog shit, the dog poo from my garden?" So, like,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
weird
Yeah.
duality. But it's kind of makes it fun, man. And you get to see people for who they are, and like get a real
Yeah.
insight to the world and human beings and the city. It's how the other side live.
For sure. Like work is such a, I don't know if like divisive is the right word, but it's such like like we all have a different upbringing. We all have a different understanding of what work is and
Yeah.
things that we allow ourselves to do, or like rather things we don't allow ourselves to do.
Yeah.
I've got plenty of friends growing up where it's like, oh man, I could never play music. It's like, I got to feed my younger brother or something like that. And obviously growing up in around London, you have people who are wealthier than others, and that's one of the beautiful things about living in this city. I feel like you sort of meet people from all different backgrounds, right? And one of the big things I feel like I've learned is just never really judge anyone. Even if someone's like loaded, they might have had a different, difficult life, different to me.
100%.
But I think it's so interesting about the way that we're like brought up about what work is. So what were you brought up like? What the people bringing you up and the people you were around, as a teenager, but also younger, what was their attitude towards work? Like, what did they want you to do?
My mum was amazing. She was just like, she was an artist and she ran like a community program that had like my whole area. It felt like my whole area coming in and out of. So she was like super well regarded in the area. But like, so I grew up just with my mum being in charge, like just watching that and being like, okay, that's what work looks like. You have to be in charge. Like, which was
Mhm.
hard for me going into the work world because you're definitely not in charge. Like, I got my first job at Curry's and I was like the bottom of the bottom. I was an 18-year-old like
Yeah.
student. So it was like super interesting, but it did give me that pride in my work and that people should respect you and hold you a certain way, no matter what you're doing. And that
Hmm.
comes from kind of being good at things or being skilled or being
Hmm.
honest, like delegating when you're bad at something. Um, I got to watch that because my mum was having the struggles of like holding the company together that wasn't earning much money, but she just believed in the work that she was doing. Um, yeah, and
Hmm.
I think that was great because there were so many. It was basically they had she was an artist, so all the artists that she worked with, all their kids started out coming to this center, and every month or every term, a different artist would lead a program, a tuition program. And it grew into this massive thing. But we all had these amazing, like, quirky parents coming in, teaching us, this is how you build a website, or this is how you sing gospel. There's that random stuff. It was brilliant, man.
I bet that's some good preparation for being in a band with 7 other people.
Yeah, good and bad, man. I saw like the hardship of like managing people and like how like not everyone's gonna like you at times. Sometimes you go to war and sometimes you're the best person in the world. And that's the reality of working with a group of people. And I think you kind of have to be single-minded, and I believe this is the way things should work, and this is for the best, and hope that everyone's on board with it. And you have to try and listen and take on everyone at the same time in terms of like what they believe as well. But then also the best part is just having community, man, and like having people that are on that path with you. I like when they're your friends and you're in with them and it's going well. There's nothing better than it. It's sweet.
Yeah, good to hear. Hey, what's one of the most memorable work fuck ups that you've made, or like a work gaff? You know, where you I imagine with gardening, you can probably like accidentally ruin someone's, lovely flower bed or something, or, just put your foot in it. Have you got any memories where you put your foot in it?
I think gardening was every day, man. I was cutting down the wrong stuff. My memory is terrible, especially when you're playing gigs and coming in tired. And it's like, I was all over the place. But I used to teach, and teaching when you're like, I was teaching drumming. I remember coming back from festivals. Before I was playing, I was just going to festivals and enjoying music. And I was making music at home, but teaching whilst being out at night, and then going in and like in primary schools with 30 kids playing African drums. It was a mess. I had a class where I'm there with them, we're in the school hall, and the acoustics in there are crazy. I got home at 5 a.m, I think, the night before. I'm trying to teach these kids, and all I hear is shouting. And it's, sir, you're sleeping. Why are you sleeping? I've done this whole hour class, and I can't for the life of me stay awake, man. I'm dropping up. This is my last time in that school. They didn't want me back. I got reported. It was... But I think trying to build like a career and like enjoy your interests whilst being young and trying to work your 20s, you want to be outside, man. You want to be enjoying and having fun, and like I definitely had a good time.
Good to hear, man. I love these stories, and the album sounds wicked. I've just heard the tracks that are released. I haven't got a stream yet, but it's a great feeling. Exactly the kind of record I want to put on like on a Saturday daytime, Saturday afternoon. I got the day off, making coffee at home, put that on the stereo, and I'm sorted.
Thank you, man. It's been like, we wrote it in Devon, and we wrote it in London, but we recorded it out in Devon, and it was super hot. We had like 2 weeks of bliss there, and it felt like a long Saturday. It felt like, or even better, a long sunny Sunday where there's nothing to do. So, if people take that feeling from it, it's perfect, man.
You got that show at Brixton Academy. That's got to mean something to you, just that venue being it's kind of the last big, sort of old school venue in London. I think it's got to be, right? Yeah,
it's nuts, man. I remember like I used to live down there, and seeing people come out for gigs, and like everyone's running from the station, and you got the touts there, and like I think that happening for you is crazy. Really imagine music any bigger than Brixton Academy. My mum saw a fella there, like I saw Wu-Tang there, I think was the first gig I saw there. Just like so many artists have played there. So it's, for me, like after that, it's just fun. You get to do venues like that. It doesn't get much bigger in my mind.
Great to hear. Well, lovely to meet you, and I'm looking forward to that show.
Thank you very much, man. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. See you again soon.
See you soon.
See you, man. Bye. Cheers for watching. This is 101 Part-Time Jobs. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, and all podcast apps. We've done interviews with Aurora, Kneecap, Idols, Lauren Maybury of Churches, and loads more. So tap into 101 Part-Time Jobs on Spotify, Apple, and all podcast apps.